The American plane made a stop in New York, where it picked up a fresh crew. The cabin is nearly full, with 378 passengers and 13 flight attendants to look after them. On board the Dutch plane, 234 passengers and 14 crew, commanded by KLM's chief pilot, Captain Jacob van Zanten. 234 Dutch passengers. Many are vacationing families, 52 children among them.
KLM 4805, you are number 3 behind the 737. Report outer marker.
4805, follow the 737, report outer marker.
And now the Pan Am plane, ferrying hundreds more, arrives.
The ground situation was a traffic jam, because when we landed there, down to the end of the ramp area and parked behind 3 other airplanes.
In order to keep the weight down at takeoff, the normal practice is to take on only the amount of fuel required. But the Dutch captain takes on 55 tons, enough to get him not just to Las Palmas, but all the way back to Amsterdam.
Station calling to start.
Ground. KLM 4805 is ready for startup.
4805, clear to start.
The KLM pilots start their engines one by one and prepare to go back out onto the runway for takeoff. But the fog is closing in.
Approach 4805 requires backtrack on runway 12 for takeoff on 30.
Taxi straight ahead to end of runway and make a backtrack.
Roger, make a backtrack. 4805 is now on the runway.
.736 ready to start.
Panam 1736 clear to taxi on runway following the KLM.
The second 747, weighing 335 tons, turns onto the runway and creeps along at about 10 miles per hour. The American pilots are nervous. They can't see the KLM plane, and that means that the KLM can't see them, even when it turns around. The Pan Am has to turn off the runway, but where? The tower now confirms that visibility has dropped to 500 meters.
Pan Am 1736.
Panam 1736, approach.
We were also instructed to taxi down the runway, is that correct?
Affirmative. Taxi into the runway. Leave the runway third to your left.
Third to the left, okay.
Left turn.
Unfamiliar with the airport, the Pan Am pilots search for their turnoff.
Would you confirm that you want Pan Am 1736 to turn left at the third intersection?
The third one, sir.
1, 2, 3.
Third one.
1, 2.
Good, well that's what we need, right?
Meanwhile, the KLM, half a mile ahead and hidden in the fog, nears the end of the runway.
Panam 1736 approach. Position, please.
1736, just checking that.
That's the 45.
The tower asks the Pan Am plane to report its position, and it's clear from the transcript that the crew still cannot find the turnoff.
Yeah, but it goes ahead. I think it'll take us to the taxiway.
Maybe he counts these as 3.
Oh, I like this.
The visibility goes up and down by the minute. In the KLM, Captain Van Zanten is worried that the airport will close. At the end of the runway, the plane begins its 180-degree turn. It's just after 5 p.m. The two aircraft are now face to face, a half a mile apart, unable to see each other in the fog.
Okay, we have 700 meters visibility here now.
Wait a minute. We don't have ATC clearance.
I know that. Go ahead, ask.
KLM 4805 is now ready for takeoff. We're waiting for ATC clearance.
KLM 4805, you're cleared to the Papa Beacon. Climb to and maintain...
Air traffic control clearance is permission to fly the route once airborne, but it's not permission to take off. That has to be obtained separately.
Las Palmas VOR.
Roger, sir. We're cleared to the Papa Beacon, flight level 90. Right turn out 040 until intercepting the 325. We're
going.
No!
Stand by for takeoff, I will call you.
And we're still taxiing down the runway. Pan Am 1736.
Pan Am 1736, report runway cleared.
Okay, we'll report when we're clear.
He asked us, were we off the runway? And I responded back, negative. We are still on the runway, but we will report clear of the runway.
Isn't you clear then?
What do you say?
Isn't you clear the Pan Am?
Oh, yes.
The die is cast. With every second, the KLM is going faster and faster. At that moment, the Pan Am begins to turn off the runway.
Damn, that son of a bitch is coming straight at us!